barrio. Dicen que tú eres el mejor del barrio. Que tú dirijas y que bien todo compones. Mentiras tuyas, solo mentiras, porque en el barrio hay mucha alegría. A pruébame lo tuyo para yo creerte. Pruébame lo tuyo para yo creerte.
Hello, everyone. You're listening to 103.5 FM WNHH, NewHavenIndependent.org, powered by La Voz Hispana Radio TV here at the New Haven Independent. Today, I have a very... Oh, this is Jose Candelario. This is Keeping It 100, just to establish where we're at and what we're doing. Thank you, Harry Dross, for your help today, powering up. And let's just get to it. My guest today is Miss Marcey Lynn Jones, the lesser known of the Joneses here in New Haven, compared to Dexter and Denise, who are her siblings. But Miss Jones is a mover and shaker and a socialite, and I don't know, you're like the most awesome grandma I've ever met in my life. Welcome to the show, Marcey.
Thank you so much. I also have a younger brother who's even less known, but he's a wonderful graphic designer. So yeah, nobody knows about him pretty much, but I have a wonderful younger brother. My twin.
So for those who don't know, Marcey and Lynn siblings are Dexter Jones, who owns Dexter Jones, right?
Yep.
And he owns the barbershop there on Dixwell Avenue, Dixwell and Bassett, right? Dixwell and Bassett, more or less. And your sister Denise
Jones,
and she's also involved in that. And now you have the mantle. Also, you picked up the mantle representing your community. Organizing events. I mean, you are like the backbone to certain businesses. You do bookkeeping. I mean, there's a slew of things that you do very well.
I'm still trying to figure out who put on what's going on in New Haven, serial entrepreneur, because whoever did it, I'm stealing it.
No, I said that.
That was you?
That was me.
That really is great.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I will be using that.
If there's anything that I'm probably good at is giving people like titles.
Yeah.
I mean, I could give titles because that encompass everything. And you are a serial entrepreneur. I mean, and for, let's just start with your background. Tell us a little bit about where you're from, where you grew up and how was your household?
I grew up in Hamden with my mom and dad. My dad worked at Pratt. My mom worked at UI for some time. She was one of the well-known designers, had fashion shows in the 70s and 80s. And Mama Jones is just Mama Jones to everyone. So I grew up with a great family unit. You know, of course we're siblings, we fight, we do things. But to have two brothers, two sisters, and my mom and dad were all in our house, and my mom's still in the same house. I mean, it's different now, but it's still in the same house, and we're, I think, 76 to now. So if you think about being in the second black family in Hamden on a street, it's just amazing the things that you learn about yourself, and that's why, a lot of people say, I speak proper and things like that, or they say I speak white, but it's not that I speak white. I speak proper because of where I was raised. And then I went to Catholic school all the way up to high school. So my goal has always been, I've always been a people person. I think it's just part of me because my mom is a people person, and my mom will tell you like it is and not have a problem with that. Dexter's like that too. And, my sister Denise, she's the kinder one sometimes. Just don't say the wrong thing to the wrong person. But growing up, I really had a wonderful childhood, ups and downs, sideways, some things that I did, as far as giving hell to my parents. But I learned a lot at a young age about who I was and what I wanted to be. And I really, really prided myself in being the Grace Jones once I realized that I could be the Grace Jones that I can respect and can respect others.
I want to go back into a little bit because you mentioned that you're the second black family to live in Hamden, to own a home in Hamden, and that was due to your father and his adventures. Can you want to tell that a little bit about that story?
Yeah, I literally have a chair that my father brought. I believe my mom tells me a story all the time. Ethan Allen, when my father was in motorcycle accident that almost took his life. His lawyer, after the settlement, asked him if he was going to buy a Cadillac with the money. And he said, no, I'm buying my family a home. And he did. So along with that, he came here, I believe he was 18 years old. My pastor is my cousin, he tells me all the time. And that at that time, in that time and age, people were coming from down south to come here to work and get good jobs. And Pratt & Whitney was the place, and he'd been there, and he literally worked himself till he died. Like, he died thinking that he would be able to go back to work, you know, and it's just, that's something that he instilled in all of us. I think that's why we're all entrepreneurs at this point. My brother does work for a company, but he's still an entrepreneur, my younger brother. And just seeing how hard he worked for a company made it easier for us to all work independently and thrive because of the kindness that we saw that he always had. You know, sometimes he had issues, but, you know, the kindness between he and my mom, and, you know, my mother really is the one that, seeing her make us outfits. I don't know if Dexter ever told the story.
No.
My mom would literally, we all went to Helm Street School, and my mom would work at UI and make us outfits to go to school the next day. I mean, literally sew us brand new stuff. You know, I do have 2 of the outfits that she's made me. I still have them. I mean, but just to see her do that. So we're learning from my dad, who's going to work, busting his tail feather, doing overtime, making really good money in that day and age, living in a wonderful suburban neighborhood around people that, you know, there's some of the people that were really bad, and there were some people that were really good. They were excited to learn about our culture and us. But then when they saw us, you know, I guess the assumption would be that we would, you know, tear up the neighborhood. But my mom did the best decorations every time she could.
You told me of a story of one of your siblings getting chased around with a pickup with a Mason
Dixon. The red Confederate flag truck. It's just, it's a mess. Like, when, I don't know if you're familiar with the racial things that happened at Hampton High during the 80s.
No.
But there were a lot of
Please educate us. For those who don't know.
In Hampton High, there were quite a few race wars. And, you know, I'm younger and I'm going to Catholic school, but, you know, Denise and Dexter are dealing with that. They're going to Hampton High, and they're in, you know, they have the cafeteria shut down. So they have the racial things going on and being called things. So I know, you know, Dexter being who he is, always being handsome, being very popular, and having the parties, the parties at the house, he would really, really be a target, you know? So I know there was some times that I think my sister was telling me that her boyfriend was chased with a red truck with a Confederate flag, and he lived on Dudley in Hampton. So can you imagine, you know, he would come from Dudley and come to see her on Helen Street, and to face that. And, you know, Dexter being Dexter, I hear the stories about, you know, how Dexter stepped in, and he and Dexter became very good friends before he passed. But just the idea of living in that environment and knowing both sides of the coin, people that really, really love and want to trust and find out about you, and people that hate you just because of who you are.
Wow.
You know, but I'm used to it, and I'm
ready for that. You should never get used to that. But I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's just something I don't know how
I'm not
you
used
can.
to it. I'm not saying that I'm used to it to give up. I'm used to it. I'm used to the fight. I'm used to having the conversations. I'm used to having the hard conversations. And it's also made me who I am, be able to have those conversations. To let people know that just because I speak proper, listen, I get a lot of things over the phone because of the way I speak. And then you see me. And I explain to you that I'm the same person that you saw.
Oh,
you
wow.
know? So I know.
Well, you keep it 100. And that's why you're here. I'm Jose Candelario. This is Keeping It 100 with Jose Candelario. You're listening to 103.5 FM, WNHH, NewHavenIndependent.org, powered by La Voz Radio. And Harry is in the other room trying to give me times already.
Harry's on his job.
Harry's on point. Trust me. He's already giving me. He's already giving me a rap. It's only 11. I got like 45 minutes left. All
right.
But you have these tough conversations. You are now. You have to be an advocate not only for yourself but for an entire community. I mean, you have to educate a whole town
Yeah.
of how to live with.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for these kids who use that as an excuse to not move forward, to not do what they have to do?
You know what I tell the kids? I said, you are not your environment. Things are placed in impoverished neighborhoods to keep us impoverished. You have to reach outside your neighborhood sometime to get the things that you need. Don't be afraid to do that. And don't think that there's nobody out there that's willing to help you. The thing about it is you got to find the right people to learn the right things.
Mm-hmm.
Package stores and, certain things are placed in our areas to keep us down. And listen, we got black, white, Puerto Rican, polka dot people in our areas.
Mm-hmm.
So it's impoverished people now.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just a black thing. But there are some things that are going to always be black and brown.
Mm-hmm.
So even though there's some white people there are going to be some black and brown things. A lot of things get improved when the other step in,
Mm-hmm.
or they start getting affected. But do not feel like you are stuck in one city, in one state for the rest of your life.
Mm.
Take a trip, get a car, drive beyond the borders and learn.
Or just jumping on a Greyhound.
Listen,
I mean, you know how far you can
the
get on the
buses
mega.
are free and you can really go far now.
I know. You could jump on the mega bus for $1
Yeah,
and be in a whole
yeah.
different part of the world. But
Yeah, they have buses now that go to Niagara Falls. I didn't know that.
yeah. So I think that is very big for people from New Haven to really get out and see the rest of the world and just know
Yeah.
that there's more to it than just the hill and the ville and that's it. There's just so much out there to see. And a lot of people out there, I agree with you. They are willing to help and work with you, and they might not be in Elm City, and there's a good chance they're not because Elm City has a rep already about supporting.
Yeah. Competition city.
Competition city. Everyone wants to be a leader. No one wants to be a follower.
And I'm that person. Like you said, serial entrepreneur. I will take people that are arguing and put them in the same room and shake them in a box. So, because, a lot of times my problem is the fact that I have 11 clients that are doing the same thing. If I can connect at least 3 of them, it could be a power thing. And then maybe the others will see instead of being competing with each other.
Brian Poole says hello and good morning.
Hi, Bri.
Getting people into a room and getting them to work together. You organized a lot of nonprofits. You've organized a lot of events. How is that managing people's egos in this day and age where everyone wants to lead, nobody wants to follow, and everyone's entitled to that position?
I am a humble boss. I can listen attentively and at the same time explain to you why that's not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
And I am not one to often allow people to fail, but I will allow people to fail that need to have that failure to learn.
Mm.
And I think that is why I've been, so blessed to be able, like when I look at my website and the other night I was looking at it, I was like, I haven't had time to update it.
What was your website?
It's Marcey Lynn Jones, MarceyLynnJones.com.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's not updated because I do so much. Now I don't have a lot of time, of course, with my grandbaby, but I'm going to, start making the time to update it. But it really has almost everything that I do on it because people kept asking me, what do you do? And it was hard to explain to them what I do because there's so much that I do. I was speaking with someone yesterday. Literally took a meeting in Target yesterday. I had to take a meeting in Target yesterday because we're going to be working on Governor Lamont, the launch in Bridgeport, getting that money out to the businesses that need to get out. They need that money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So getting those loans out is going to be important.
And then for those who are, you mentioned it to me that these are for businesses that are making $80,000 or more every year. They're eligible for a small business loan as long as they're an accredited LLC or they're an actual legit business with bookkeeping and all that intact. And how does the loan work then?
I'm working on finding out the details of it because I remember it coming out, but it was launched in Bridgeport. So that's the reason why I'm just getting the information. So I know there's a pre-application. You do the pre-application and then move forward. So what I've done is I've have a set amount of people that I know are organized enough to follow through with me and be my examples. And then after I get the examples and see that the system works that I place, I will reach out to all of the businesses that I work with. Because I know I think in July he had announced it. And at that time, you could look it up, but there was no information. People didn't know exactly that they needed to go find someone that's actually doing the work. And now that I've gotten in touch with the gentleman, I'm going to train and do what I need to do to get some money in our city. We need it. We need it. I mean, we have all these wonderful businesses, and I would rather them succeed or do better with more money. And it's just important to me.
Okay, so you do a lot. Let's start with
I don't know where to start.
your bookkeeping and how you got into that, because you do bookkeeping for like 10 to 15 businesses on the regular, on top of taxes, which was your start. That's how you started?
Oh, do you listen? I walked into H&R Block to fill out for a receptionist position. 20 years later, okay, 20 years later, I left H&R Block and decided to go independent. It was a very tough time because, you know, they're contracted, and I think Dexter would probably tell you, my mom would tell you, clients were going to the barbershop looking for me. They were going to my mom's house looking for me. H&R Block started looking for me, thinking I was stealing their clients, but clients were looking for me, and I was making $300,000 a year for them. And taking home maybe 30, 40. I wasn't happy. So I'm going, you know what? Let me do the jobs. So I became different positions at H&R Block, learned what I could learn, started my own business with a friend, because in the beginning I couldn't put my license out there because of the, you know, the contract. But I did what I needed to do, and I let people continue to find me. And I literally, I only take referrals. So if you don't send me your friend, so if your friend does wrong, I can call you. I'm not taking anybody else, because I think that's what made me successful. Because I was like I'm sorry, I know you asking me to do your taxes, but I don't know you. If you have a client of mine that you're friends with, maybe. And it was pretty easy because New Haven's so New Haven. But I have clients now that have moved to Florida, to Charlotte, to Canada. And Canadian taxes are a whole different ballgame. We won't even talk about those. And Mexico, I have another client that literally is in Africa, but I still do their paperwork because they still got a pension. They still have things they have obligations. They still want to get their Social Security.
I mean, and that's like a full-time job within itself, because the tax code changes yearly. It's not, and then the tax code is, 2,000-page document minimally, just to get the top layer out of the way. And you still have to study. It's like you always are
do 30
learning.
30 hours a year in updates. And I do them specifically in updates, because you know what happens? Because with the COVID and all the stimuluses and all the things that fell, hey, we're still recovering from the government shutting down.
No, we're not back on. I mean, literally the economy got caught COVID itself.
So I literally have people that are waiting still for their 2019, 2020 taxes, because they're just really that backed up. You think about it, the whole world was affected. So if the whole world was affected and you had foreign accounts, or there are people that are never going to recover things that they should.
Let's talk a little bit about financial literacy, because you've been instilled with that thanks to your parents, your father and your mother and your dad, making that one decision, that one monumental decision of buying a home versus a car or some gold chains. Because even back then, people getting gold teeth and whatnot, they were spending their money. What is the most common mistake? This is a twofold. Individuals make in their spending habit. What's the number one thing that's a little pet peeve of yours that you wish most of your clients would not do? And then on that same note, businesses, because these are two distinct things. Individual spending and how you spend as an individual versus as a business.
Ooh, and this is my, like, kind of one of my codes. I know I'm a Jones, but keeping up with the Joneses when you don't have Jones money is only gonna make you a whole nother person. So you want to look like you have this, that, and the other, but you got to go home to your apartment you rent. You got to beautiful car, but you're renting. You know, I would rather you have a hoopty in a house.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes more sense, a hoopty in a house. And there's programs out there to make it affordable. So I just tell people, saving is not as hard as we think. No, I don't even know if there's very few people that have that 3-month stash.
Yeah, in this day and age, I mean, right now statistics are showing that people are down to like a month.
So just
on average.
Listen,
if that in America.
If you can start with a week, put your money somewhere you can forget about it. I tell people to get like the Chime cards or get like the prepaid cards, you know, and use that account, cut up the card. So send money there, cut up the card. Savings, cut up the card. Because it doesn't make it as easy to get the money. And that's what the problem is right now, is that money is just right there at your fingertips.
And I guess there's a now detachment from that money because it literally doesn't even exist or hit your pocket. It was the last time it's very rare now people actually feel bills anymore. It's like an actual note to hold a note in your hand and feel the value within your hand. Now it's automated. It's like in the ether.
Auto pay it's a tool, but it can also be a setup. Because if you auto pay, your UI is not always going to be the same, or your electric, I should say, because it could be anything, or your heating source is not always going to be the same. Your monthly gas is never going to be the same, especially the way the gas goes around here.
Yeah.
So you can't set up a 7-Eleven account because you could just pull up and just say, I'm at pump 1 and I want to fill up. Because even if you go to your 7-Eleven application and you're using that same card, it's just going to say fuel. And sometimes the applications aren't right. So don't always believe the Bank of America filters and all those things. It's important for you to keep your own record of your finances. I am one of those people that does not carry cash because it disappears.
Well, your eyelash budget is like $400 a month, so
you know what? I get my lashes from Amazon. You know that story, okay? Last time Instacart too, because the Instacart driver got lost the night I hosted for you. But it's crazy. It's just it's just amazing. So let's move on
to businesses. So individuals mind your money. Keep a check on your auto pay. Don't keep up with the Joneses. Don't live beyond your means. Get a hoopty, big house and a hoopty versus a brand new car and a rental.
Townhouse, a condo, anything.
Anything.
Own it.
Own it. Now, what's the number one pet peeve for businesses out there?
Fixing their credit. Like a business owner will run on their business credit and not have their own personal credit right. That's the biggest pet peeve for me. I'm like saying, okay, you have this money coming in, especially if it's a business that's flourishing. All this money coming in, and you don't want to pay $119 to get your credit straight a month, because I said that it's costing you more than $119 a month to have bad credit.
Interest alone. Interest alone.
Like, what are you doing? So I've gotten rid of credit cards. I've just gotten rid of them. I have the one that I have to rent cars or whatever, but I just got rid of those. And it's like, if I don't have it in my hand as a business, I'm not going to go out and, stick my neck out to lose more money.
So you always work with cash on hand.
Yes. So if I have it on hand, it can happen. And if I do not have it on hand, be careful getting the credit. Because don't get credit for things that you think might make you money. The things that have shown you that they will make you money are the things you get credit for. And that's a really
that's a
pet peeve right there.
Golden nugget right there for folks that are listening.
I'm telling you.
Do not get credit on ideas that are not, proof of concept is more important than anything. Invest in proof of concepts that are successful within your business.
Yes.
Not take another loan so you can maybe try to venture out into something that it's not even your strength in your business, but it's something you want to experiment with.
Yes.
Not worth it because, a $10,000 loan plus interest over 20 years is more than 20. It's about 16 to 20,000, right?
Yeah,
with
probably
interest. More than that. Yeah. Well, not with these interest rates we
Right
got with
now,
inflation. Forget
yeah.
about it. We're at 6% right now
Mhm.
on average
Yeah.
for loans,
Yeah.
for any type of loan. And
Yeah.
used cars, forget about it. Used
Yeah.
car loans and it's 16%. It is, and that credit cards are now averaging 21%.
Definitely. 27.99. I saw one. I'm like, what the? Who's paying that? Like, do you realize that McDonald's you really didn't need to just swipe for? It's just like,
Very
yeah,
good.
yeah.
You're listening to Jose, keeping it 100 with Jose Candelario on 103.5 FM, WNHH, New Haven Independent.org, powered by La Voz Radio for TV. And a good engineer, Harry, who has been helping us tremendously. You're listening to Marcey Lynn Jones of New Haven, serial entrepreneur, does a little bit of everything, but does it at the highest of quality.
Oh.
The highest of qualities. Now, finances is one thing. You're very good at financing. So let's go to the next thing. Event planning.
Oh, geez.
You coordinate more events and more successful events that I've seen in the past 20 years than any other person. For those who don't even, I mean, one of the biggest ones I think you were involved with were the First Fridays.
I really wasn't involved with the First Fridays that much. I mean,
But you were involved in
always be in the background and do what was needed. But I'm just like, I don't know.
But you were always involved in something.
There was always something that I could do. I always wanted Dominique Vasquez to succeed. Yes, I said it. Yell at me later. My brother to succeed. And, it was a wonderful thing. It's just like, we knew every First Friday we was going to have the peoples come together and do what we needed to do and jam with no trouble. We needed that.
The original Grown and Sexy.
Yeah.
The original Grown and Sexy events, and you helped put those on. But this led you to organize other events. Like,
well, listen.
Give us some examples for the people for them. Just 2 or 3.
Oh my goodness. There's weddings, funerals. I'm gonna say bar mitzvahs.
That's what I'm saying.
Bar mitzvahs. Super Bowl parties.
Fundraisers for nonprofits.
Fundraisers for nonprofits are a big thing.
Okay, well, then let's talk.
So
talk about
fundraisers for nonprofits would be dinners, setting up something really different, where we would have communities come out and donate their time or food or books, or there have been thousands of books donated to different areas from New Haven Reads. So I was one of those people that would actually go out to get these businesses and say, we need $200 worth of money or product from you. You're in our community and we're helping the community. And what have you done for the community? And I'm only asking for $200. And it would end up being like 500, people would give 500 for some of the drill teams. It's just, it's countless and endless when it comes to, when I think about
So you've
nonprofits.
combined your finance history with your event planning, and you've established how many 401c3s?
23 in New Haven and 11 outside of New Haven.
And one of them is for chain?
Oh, the chain fund. I helped Kelly, I did. Kelly, the chain fund came out of the police doing what she does for her. And the help that I gave Kelly was just helping her. And she always brings up that at that time I'm at H&R Block, and H&R Block gave her a percentage that tax year, one tax year. And that percentage really was a nugget for our area, because the chain fund is an organization that pays your bills, like rent, utilities, and things like that, while you're going through cancer treatment, while you're going through the diagnosis, while you're going through the hardest time of your life. And to be able to give people that type of peace, it's a no-brainer, And I met her, I don't even remember how many years ago, but I just did an interview with her, and she reminded me I had forgotten about the H&R Block thing, and I'd forgotten about all the events and all the breakfasts and the movies and all the motorcycle rides, and the time spent. We've spent time building Maryland. Maryland Chain Fund, and now Charlotte is getting ready to have a Wakanda Forever Ball. We probably knew that it was happening because we knew the organization was built. But the Chain Fund is just, I always say, we as the Chain Fund is an organization that needs to be worldwide. It doesn't, because cancer's everywhere. It's like we thought COVID was everywhere. Cancer's still one of those things that everybody's touched by too. So
let's give a little piece of advice now for those people, because you say we had a great conversation one time in which you were explaining to me that there are people that run nonprofits, but there are some people that shouldn't even, that you will assist someone establish a nonprofit, but they have to do more work on their end than you need to be doing.
The 90-day rule. It really is a 90. It's like a job. Okay, so I've given you 90 days of my time, and I see sometimes it doesn't even last the 90 days, Jose, to be honest with you. But people say, I want to do this for the people, but they're not good with rejection. Or people say, I want to do this for the community, and then they realize there's no money in it. It's going to be really, really hard.
There is no money nonprofit.
It's a
non-profit.
Nonprofit.
It's not for profit.
I was trying to get my, 501c3 so I could get grants and stuff. You haven't even done a business plan. What is your mission? What's your vision? The little things. Matter of fact, have you gotten an LLC? Did you even think of a name? Oh, well, I just had the idea. Okay, so I can't get you a 501c3 if you haven't established your business plan, your mission, your articles of organization.
So let's go. So there's another nugget for you guys out there listening. This is keeping it 100 with Jose. What are the things that you need to come to the table with when you come for to apply for a business like that? What are
business proposal?
The top three. 1, business proposal.
Mission.
2, mission.
Vision.
3, vision. Oh my goodness.
Your articles of organization.
That's 4.
And the mindset to not be defeated.
Wow. Thick skin.
Thicker than thick.
Thicker than thick. Leather tough.
Yeah.
Because rejection is hard. It's one of those things that I personally, is one of the reasons why I haven't stepped out. Because of that fear of rejection and that fear of failure. Although I rarely lose in life, I still have this innate fear of failure.
But Jose, do you realize that there's no such thing as failure?
No, there is not. It's a lesson. You're either going to learn or you're going to repeat it.
Yeah.
Rinse and repeat.
Yeah. So, listen, if you don't get the results you want the first time, don't do it the second time. Don't do it the third time. Unless you have somebody coaching you to do it properly. And that's the problem. Reaching out to somebody that knows more than you to learn something. People have pride and I can do it by myself and they want to YouTube, but they don't go out to the person that they've seen do it because they think, oh, I don't want to go to my competition and ask them, help me do this, because then they're going to think, I'm trying to steal their idea. That's the best form of compliment, is when somebody takes your idea. So now you hook up with that person, say, okay, so since you knew I had that idea, let me help you with it. Let me volunteer my time to help you work on my idea, as opposed to being, oh, I'm mad and I want to sue them and I want, because they just complimented you. They took your idea and ran with it and did what they were supposed to do with it, something you may have never done.
And there's a idea. It's a study called noetic science. Noetic science means that we all, for some reason, we all share a brain wavelength, no matter what. So there is a good chance that if you're having a thought, someone else somewhere on this planet is having the same exact thought. But the only difference is your confidence and your willingness to step forward and take action. That's the only difference between you and someone else, because you don't know, nothing is original under the sun. The wheel's already been invented. We already know how long many hours are in a day.
Yes.
We know how the sun works. But don't think, it's all about your personal spin and your personal action. What do you have to say to that?
I always use my, believe it or not, fear of public speaking.
You?
Can you imagine?
You?
I had the worst fear of public speaking. You couldn't imagine, right?
I've only known you for like a month. I mean, like a year, little less than a year.
Yeah.
And I would never, ever think that you had an issue.
Horrible fear of public speaking. And I didn't use the underwear technique to get over it.
For those who are out there, it's the ideal that you go out and you
look at
pretend that everyone doesn't have
audience.
pants on, so you disarm them so you can feel more confident in what you're doing.
Yeah. But you know what I used? Confidence.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at myself, and I look at myself as a person that I can drive a lot of people to where they need to be. And I've seen the work that I do. So why shouldn't I be able to talk to people about it? Why shouldn't I be able to do the things that I need? And then I started sharing things.
Mm-hmm.
And once I realized that all I was doing was just sharing knowledge, and all I was doing was giving things that are advice,
Mm-hmm.
personal development.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the life coach in me.
Mm.
So, that's something that is
and let me
free.
tell you, you
It's
do
free.
it for free.
It's free.
But you need to be charging $1,000 an hour. I mean, you and I have conversations that you've opened up some ideas. I mean, it's weird because my wife works in organizational leadership, and she's a coach. She's like of the most highest levels.
Yeah.
And you are like always reiterating something that she told me.
Now listen,
Like, and you're doing it for
Confirmation.
confirmation, but she gives it, she's bound, she gives it for free, but you give it to me for free too, as like, and I'm like, she gets paid like mucho moolah
Yeah.
to say the same things you do
Yeah.
for people every day.
Yeah. But you know what? I live in the life that you can't give me what God can.
Mm.
I mean, I just had an amazing battle go on, and within 24 hours it was fixed.
Mm.
That comes from the person that I am and the work that I do for people,
Mm-hmm.
and the sacrifices that I make. Like I was explaining to somebody in 2020, because, people weren't getting their taxes, I lost $15,000.
Mm.
I didn't really worry about the fact that I lost the $15,000. It hurt. Oh yeah, it hurt.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But what really hurt me tremendously is the people that actually weren't paying me and knowing that they got their money.
Mm.
So this is how you learn about people.
Mm-hmm.
Excuses are choices.
Wow. Say it again.
Excuses are choices.
All right.
So
Does the church say
if
amen?
You're not the choice because they gave you an excuse. Learn from it. Don't feel bad. Just say, let the person know. I was mentioning it to Senator Winfield. I always go to Because You Matters.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't go this morning because it's hard for me to get the baby and my daughter to school and do everything. It's not as easy as it used to be because now the schools are going in really early, and my daughter goes in at 8. So I'm like going, okay, so now I got to carry her and the baby with me to these. So, I never even told him I wasn't coming because I just knew I wasn't going to show up. Why call and give the excuse? If I didn't show up, he knows there's a genuine reason why I would not show up. My choice would have been to be there, but nothing comes before family. So he knows that, that's just one of those things. But people that choose not to be at something, that's their choice. Excuse, I got to go here, or I got to do this, or I need some, needing some sleep. I'm not going to argue with you if you need some sleep because I'm one of those people. If my body shuts down, nobody's seeing me. My phone's going to ring. I'm going to literally hear my phone ringing and not be able to reach it.
Wow. Yeah, well, I mean, you are the socialite extraordinaire in the city. You are at multiple places at the same time. You have what is one of my fundamentals for emotional intelligence is that, number one, you have a great amount of confidence in yourself. You take care of yourself. Yourself is very important to you. I mean, that's number one. Then your second thing you mentioned is family. Family comes second. So you have your priorities in order because people think that when you put yourself first, that you're being arrogant. you're being cocky.
I can't do nothing for you if I ain't doing what I'm supposed to do for me.
If
I
you're not
can't
getting
do
that
a
rest, if you're
thing
not getting
for
that nutrition,
Yeah.
if you're not getting that vitamin
Yeah.
D out in the sun,
Yeah.
treating yourself good, then you still have a majority of the time for your community. The third level for me is always community. Self, family, community.
Mm-hmm.
And you've mastered all three levels.
I've tried. I know what, and it's not hard now. It used to be hard. Oh my God, it used to be hard. I literally have had even family go, why is this a priority right now? And this is going on, and you need to be paying attention to this. I said, because it's your priority. I said, I need to do this for me. I need to have the strength and the endurance to do what I need to do for my family. Everything that I do out here in public is a reflection of my family.
Mm.
So
Legacy. You are
I
maintaining
used
a
to-
legacy.
Listen, I definitely, now, daughter, granddaughter, I mean, I don't want my daughter Love to have to say, your grandmother, left me for 40 days and went to Georgia to win the Senate, and nothing happened.
Mm.
Like nothing. She did nothing.
Mhm.
It was for nothing. It was for something.
Mm-hmm.
Because now she could say, my mom, it's a whole different conversation. My mom was, 40 days in Georgia to help win the Senate,
Mhm.
period. That's something my daughter can say. Now,
Mhm.
I want my daughter to be able to do those things, which she is, because Amistad is a great school. And
Yeah.
she's honors. Like, I want my
Mhm.
granddaughter to be able to say, my mom did honors at Amistad. Remember Amistad? Because Amistad is AP,
Mhm.
AP, I want her to be able to say those things. But I can't instill that in her without doing the things that are hard, sometimes leaving her, sometimes not being able to, go to certain appointments.
Mhm,
not
mhm,
do
mhm.
this. Like today.
But you can't do everything for your kids.
I can't do everything. No. I can't. You know why? They won't be independent.
Mm.
I'm teaching Azari. She's 6 months now, pretty much.
Mhm.
And I'm teaching her independence already because she's like, okay, I want you to put the blanket down pretty much. I can see it in her face. Why
Mhm.
is the blanket not here? I got to hold my bottle for myself. Yeah. So she's holding her bottle at 6 months. Most kids,
Mhm,
but
mhm.
these are hybrid babies. All the babies don't.
These
during this
babies
time,
is
they're
different.
hybrid. They're
Let me
hybrid.
tell you, these babies is different.
She's pulling herself up on the side of her playpen, going, "What on earth is happening?"
I mean, look, some kids are these kids in this generation are very, very weird and advanced in so many ways. I feel like I was born in a different time because I was walking by 10 months. I was already on my feet running around.
Mhm.
So I feel like I see all these babies now doing the same thing, going, wow, these kids are going to be amazing. I mean, my son blows my mind.
Mhm.
He just passed a 9th grade geography test.
Oh wow. Okay. What
He's-
was his grade?
He's in pre-K 4. Don't ask how it happens.
Listen, you got one.
Don't ask how
I
this
can't with you.
happens.
I
The,
can't.
the kid pees his pants, but still could pass 9th grade geography.
Guess what?
I don't know. How.
There's something in this world, even though they're dissocialized, some of them, that is making them more attentive to everything.
They're very
around
in
them.
tune, very in tune to their
Oh.
environments, very high empath. They're very empathetic.
Not missing.
You probably see
And-
at 6 months old, like
Mhm.
6 months old, I bet you can tell when your granddaughter can tell when you're sad,
Mm-hmm.
when you're happy. They feed
Mhm.
off that energy.
Yeah. She could tell everything. Like,
All right, I see Harry's playing around already, so I
what
guess
happened
it's
here?
almost
What we do?
time.
What we do?
Well, we still got. Okay, you know what? We're almost done here. You're listening to Keeping 100 with Jose Candelario on 103.5 FM, WNHH, New Haven Independent.org, powered by La Voz Hispana Radio. Harry is like ready to give me a time. What I got, Harry? Another 10 minutes here? A little less? 4 minutes. That's all I got? All right, 4 minutes. All right, then we're going to do a speed round because we got so many topics. This is New Haven. You know how it is. All right, so I'm going to
Yes.
say one thing. You're going to tell me a quick thought about what's going on in that in that sphere
Okay.
of New Haven. First things first, the situation with the NAACP now with the young man that was injured in police custody.
Sad. I'm very sad. I'm on my way over the press conference after
What is the next? What's the next? What are the events that you're keeping an eye for the next couple of months, weeks?
Well, of course, your comedy and of course karaoke and karaoke everywhere. So karaoke makes me happy.
And I see that you're always at all the karaoke spots and
yeah.
all over town. You're over. What black businesses are you supporting right now that you really see going somewhere?
Oh God, Jazzy's,
Mm-hmm.
BWAC Productions, and the Chain Fund.
Okay. Wow. Well, those are three good ones. If you're a young person right now and you're indecisive over what you want to do in life, what's the advice to that person?
Stay focused. Really, really follow your heart, and don't do anything you don't like doing.
Okay. Very good. We got going to be political seasons coming up. We might be looking at a different mayor. Who do you see can be possible replacements for Justin Elicker, or do you see him winning again? Yeah, she's jogging through that Rolodex.
My
She's
goodness.
jogging through the Rolodex.
Too many people.
Too many people? Who are you? The top two that you can see.
As New Haven's mayor.
We'll get back to it. We'll get back
Yeah,
to it
we'll
because we're
have to
running
get
out of
back
time.
to
Okay,
this
so the
Tony, come back. That's it.
Okay. Tony, come back. Very good. We have situations at the Board of Ed in New Haven. What do you see the correct course of path? Because now we're spending 6 months looking for a new superintendent. What do you want to see happen?
Genuine accountability, definitely. Genuine accountability.
We have a new superintendent in Hamden, Mr. Highsmith. Finally, after very, very contentious Board of Ed meetings where there was almost a race war at a couple of them. What's the advice for the people in Hamden in regards to the school system?
Get a new mayor. I'll run.
That's been Keeping It 100 with Jose Candelario. You've been listening to Marcey Lynn Jones running for mayor of Hamden.
No.
You heard it here first. 103.5 FM WNHH NewHavenIndependent.org. I don't know what else to say.
Thank you for having me. Really, Jose. Thank you.
Yeah, say something to the public before you go.
Well, just remember, no matter what, keep love in your heart. Be kind, even in ugly situations. Love your enemy. Smile through the pain. And remember, I love you, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. No thing.
Very good. I'm Jose Candelario. This has been Keeping It 100. You can listen to this on all other platforms for re-airs, including Amazon, which I found myself while I was in New York City. It popped up on
I
my...
gotta look for it, yeah.
Yeah, it just pops up on Amazon now. You can find it there. Please tell a friend to tell a friend. Thank you very much, Marcey Lynn Jones, for all the
Anytime.
information and all the knowledge. I appreciate you and your time. And thank you very much for everything you do for our community. I do appreciate it.
I appreciate that.
Until next week, this is Keeping It 100, New Haven Independent.
Diríjala y que bien todo compones. Mentiras tuyas, solo mentiras, porque en el barrio hay mucha alegría. A la, pruébame lo tuyo para yo creerte. Pruébame lo tuyo para yo creerte. Suéname la conga, suena el bongo, suena el timbal. Inspírate, hermano, con mucha alegría, porque ahorita aquí vengo yo. Que